Alright, let's see if we can get a signal from the back cave. And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Jedi Academy here on Reality Skewed Gamers with your boy Ranger J 1999. Show we do every Saturday at this time, where we do nothing but answer your questions about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, the mobile game brought to you by Capital Games. We come on and it's just basically you get to ask us questions, and by us I mean whoever other content creators wants to show up, we just leave it open. If they can make it, they can. So sometimes we have a ton of content creators, sometimes we have a few, but it doesn't matter because whether it's just me or a bunch of folks, we're going to be here hanging out and trying to answer your questions. So pretty straightforward. And now if you have a question that you want to pose to myself, whoever, all you need to do is put your questions into the chat. Now, when you do that, just to help me out with the filtering process, to try to get your questions scooped up, make sure you put the word question in front of your actual question statement. That way we will get them scooped up and answered. So we go for about 2 hours. So if you have a question, put it in there. Also say hi, all that other stuff. Feel free to interact with myself and others and everybody in the chat. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, leave comments, like, subscribe. You hear content creators say it all the time, but it does make a big difference. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, that would be super. And then that's it. That's pretty much all we do here. Just hang out, answer questions, try to get you some good answers here to whatever burning questions on your mind. We did our GSC last night. We streamed last night as is tradition, and then I had the Wolf on. Clayton came on later. We had a lot of fun last night, and so yeah, make sure you check out the Battalion as well. Really good show, real group of folks with Mort and Ricky P and Wolf, and even that turd Rambam, and it's Rambam's birthday, if you can believe that. And then tomorrow night, I think we're shooting forward to do our other JAC. So there you go. Then we'll be back. I don't know if I'm going to stream on Monday. It is Labor Day. I may just take the day off on Monday. So we may if I do stream, it'll just be for an hour just to say, hey, what's up? Hey, what's going on? Blah, blah. And then we'll just come back strong on Tuesday and do a Tuesday stream. So there you go. So yeah, get your greetings. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are out there in TV land. Welcome everybody. Hello, JB United. Hello, the High Ground, Nathaniel Morgan. So there you go. Anything else? No, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, that's kind of the news going on right now. I can't think of anything else. So we'll wait and see. Get your questions in and do all that other crap, and then we'll just sit here for 2 hours. I got my coffee and stuff, and but I'm hoping everybody in the U.S. is getting ready for a wonderful Labor Day weekend, so you guys can get back into the swing of things. I will be just chilling like a villain. Busy week this past week. Boy, we streamed our ass off on Thursday with Profundity, yeah. Now the Profundity, I'm sure you're gonna ask questions on that. We'll get to those questions when we get to it. I did do the Profundity on Thursday. I do have 7-star Profundity with all the bells and whistles. So any questions about Profundity, you're more than welcome. I mean, that's kind of the big thing that came in this week. News is coming in dribs and drabs. Profundity was the big event. It's performing like they said it would, and it's doing pretty well, I think. So if you didn't get Profundity, don't worry about it. It's coming back next month, and you'll get it then. And if you have Executor, you'll be fine. So yes. First question from the High Ground says, World Cup want all potencies. Would Cup want all potency sets or another mod set? I mean, don't really know. Cup, really? Oh my god. I would say potency set, sure, if you want to mix it up, put some health or something else on there, but yeah, all potency. Go crazy. It's Cup. The more stuns you can land, the better, right? So go have fun, High Ground. Hello, Dark Side. Hello, Phil Reagan. Hello, June Kessel. Epic Fails. What's going on? Good morning. June Kessel question. How do you say Kung Pao in Chinese? Well, you say Kung Pao. Yes. Yes, you guys know I'm learning Chinese and my brain's mushy right now. I got to do some lessons this weekend. So, yeah, it's going slowly but surely. But yes, you say Kung Pao, and it's like Kung Pao. Let's see. I made a deal. The Relic 9 hymn is why I asked. Oh, no. Well, I mean, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, good luck. It's cop. I mean, I don't think anything's gonna break your account there with what you put on cup. I think you'd be all right with that. Slow character, yeah, put some potency on. Dark Side said, question, what's a good non-GL Malgus counter? Either one shot or enough to poke a hole in the team. Typically, depending on which lineup it is, Gas can do it. I'm trying to think of who else um, can do it. It also depends on Datacrons. Datacrons are really that's the thing that you can give all these counters and stuff, but if they just have certain Datacrons, you're kind of hosed. Um, I know Gas can do it. I'm just trying to think non-GL counters. I mean, Starkiller could do it. Um, Grievous, maybe? No, not Grievous. Making another team. Those are two that pop into the top of my head. Um, Someone said Imperial Troopers. Imperial Troopers might be the play if certain lineups and stuff. We were kind of talking about that last night as well. So yeah, just some ideas. Darsar 1972 says, question, given the amount of time relics and materials needed for Profundity and Grand Inquisitor, why does CG continue to make the events in RNG Fest? Are they not capable of making fun events like Jedi Luke or CLS? I don't know. I do have a problem with the events, Darsan. I don't understand why they do it the way they do it. I mean, at least with the Executive, you got it to 5-star. It was somewhat manageable. I mean, that event was just unplayable almost. I mean, first of all, you had the tiers. So you had to go through the tiers of each of the capital ships that are with your Gear 11 Radis, which I don't understand that. You want us to put all this gear and stuff on, but for the event we can't use it. You want to handicap us. I don't understand why they're doing that. I mean, nobody wants to slog through these events like this. It's really off-putting because you can't use the good lineup that you would want to use where you can face everybody, which I don't understand why. I get people used to what they're going to be using. I mean, like, for instance, you're forced to kind of use the U-Wings, but they're not the ideal team, and you're not even going to put those on your fleet, on your normal fleet that you're using right now if you have the Profundity. So it's completely ass backwards. I don't know. They did that with Grand Inquisitor where it's all about RNG and all this other crap. It's frustrating. The battles take forever. I mean, if they're trying to limit people like to get Profundity or Grand Inquisitor, I don't see it's like with the GLs. They learned their lesson from you thought from the GLs, and with some of the other events like you mentioned, like CLS, Jedi Luke, where it's just cinematic. You go in, it's half fun. I mean, you want to make it a little bit challenging, sure. But not to the point where I have to spend 4 hours, 5 hours trying to do the event. I think it was Whittle 73 said it took him 3 hours or something. I mean, we don't have that kind of time, nor do we want to spend that kind of time. If you were going to require Relic 9 and all this other stuff, you want to have the fights be a little bit tough, sure, but let us use all our bells and whistles then. I mean, or if you're going to make us do that, then have the event but give us a 7-star immediately, on the ship, because going through the fights, and I tried to do 4-star and 5-star with the Profundity. It was just a nightmare. We got it to 6 stars, and once you get to 6 stars, then the fight's not that bad. But you don't have the capabilities of the ship in those fights to take it up, because you can't until you beat those battles and get to the next star. You can't. Yeah, it's really frustrating. I don't understand the mentality on that, because all you're doing is you're frustrating players. So no, I don't understand because CLS was fun. Yeah, there's a lot of even the Malik event. This is one I always come back to. The Malik event. The Malik event is one of the best events they ever did. Yeah, it was a challenge, and yeah, it took us a while, but it was more about like figuring it out. It was like a puzzle, like you see in a lot of games and things that I've done before. Where it's like, okay, here's the boss fight. You got to figure it out. You just can't go in there and just beat the crap out of it. You have to figure out like it's there's certain tactics and strategy to it, and I respect that. But these aren't tactics and strategy. It's just like, well, hopefully they don't shoot this person and ship, and oh, it did. Well, I have to do it again. So yeah, I don't understand it. So there you go. Good morning, JT. No, I don't love Ewok. Shame on you. The high ground says question: how is the executive doing against Profundity? Is Relic 9% required to do it? As far as I understand, executors 8 and 9 are taking out Profundities. So I don't know the success rate with Relic 8. I know Relic 9 people are able to do it. So yeah, it's working as intended on offense. Profundities can take out executors and vice versa. So that's what CG said they wanted, and it's working as intended. Let's see here. Utah question. Hey Utah, what's going on? It says question. For GSA as a priority, what would be your top 5 Omicron's order I should do? Oh God. What? I'd have to look at your crap, Utah. It's not. It's not about just what are the best. That's subjective, man. People have different ideas. I mean, some of the ones that you see for JAC, Zam for bounty hunters, Wampa if you have Wampa. The ones the 3 on Malgas are pretty important. The 1 on Starkill is pretty important. I already said Sam.
Okay.
And I don't know. Omicrons are dictated by a couple things. 1, what you have, and 2, like what you're, the team you have behind it. So you can even have the character, but if you don't have the team fully up and running, then that doesn't make sense. Some are individualized, like Wampa. So Wampa's a fantastic Omicron, but that's really subjective. And Epic Fails AKK is Drogon is here. Hello, Drogon.
Howdy. Welcome. I'd still say Qui-Gon's good too. If you have,
yeah, Qui-Gon's good.
I struggle when it's put on defense sometimes, and now you can slap an Omicron. I know that's the dirty word, but like you give them the Terminator one and some other stuff. Like if you don't have a Galactic Legend to go against it, it can get hairy and trouble. And I will say, I did the Night Sister one, and it punches up. Let me tell you, I don't have them high enough relic to take out great squads, but with that protection back, I'm getting almost full banners on backline stuff. I think that one's gonna rise if people relic or people who have that squad up, because it does some interesting things. Just like you have First Order TIE Pilot one, of course, is great on offense.
Yeah, for Omicrons though, I mean, and there's TW Omicrons too. I mean, but just for GAC, Starkiller if you have them, Malgus if you have them. I mean, we listed a bunch of characters that. I mean, First Order TIE Fighter Pilot. I mean, that's a really good Omicron too. Trying to think of some of the other ones, but yeah, it just depends on what you have available. So if you want to work on those toward that, but getting Omicron's not the easiest thing in the world to do. So, take a little time. No. They take a little time. Not gonna lie, they take a minute to farm. Because
and also we're gonna have Ben Swallow soon too.
Yeah, so I was gonna do Mary J, but even with Conquest and all the extra Omicrons I'm getting, I mean, he's gonna have at least 2, possibly.
Yeah,
3.
I forget what they said, 2 or 3. It's something crazy.
Yeah, so
that's what they did.
That plan went out the proverbial window. So there you go. Let's get to the next questions. Nightbot's fighting me. Give me a second here.
The cup question, potency all the way. He gets 20% turn meter whenever he inflicts a negative status effect. So
Oh, there you
Thumbs
go.
up.
Yeah. Nathaniel Morgan question: since Malevolence beats Profundity pretty consistent, how will CG buff Profundity? Give it a Padme unique for assist? I don't know. I mean, I'd have to see how. Like, I mean, is that
I'll put
necessarily
a
a bad
video
thing?
out about that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if they just want, I mean, the other capital ships don't really. It's what they've got to set for defense. I don't know. I don't know what tweak that they would have to do to Profundity to make that not a thing. But they've said the reason Executor can beat it is because of the way that the AI on defense reacts. It doesn't use the abilities and stuff the way we would use it, which is what they had to kind of do. But it happens. It gets out there in the ether, and then we get our hands on it. And no matter how much they look at stuff and test or try to make things a certain way, we always come
If
up with
they hate
something.
it enough, there's a couple things they probably can do. They could add the doesn't one ship or something can ignore the taunt when it's non-piloted ships. They could add something like that, or they could make it target behind the scenes certain things, right? Because we know they like to do that as well.
You
The
know,
kill order.
they could do some stuff like that. I don't know how consistent the Malevolence counter is. Is it a hard counter like Executor is, or is it a soft counter? If it's a soft counter, I would leave it alone. Like if it's no different than saying First Order or Rebels, depending on which lineup in the Executor that you're facing and using those fleets for as a counter. Those are not hard counters. They're soft counters. 60-70% of the time they'll win, but yeah. But if Malevolence is, say, at that level those ships were with Executor, then leave it alone. I wouldn't even dick around with it, and I wouldn't have to dick around with it. But we'll have to wait to see what the percentages are. I don't know what the percentages are, and the thing's only been out 2 days, so we need probably some more data before I would say anything they might do. Now, if Malevolence is at the same level as Executors beating Profundity, they might do something, but let's wait and see what they do. It's still early days for Profundity and stuff, so yeah.
That's the real question: is who wants to put it on defense? I don't see that ship as a
I'm not putting
defensive
it on
ship anyway.
defense.
So
Yeah, I'm not putting it on defense. I mean, it just, yeah. Malevolence can take it out, and we know the Executor can do it. I mean, yeah. But I'm still thinking about my strategy for ships and stuff. So there you go. Phil Regan
can I
says,
say something about ships I was thinking about today?
no.
Okay.
Well, that's on your mind.
So we have we have 10 capital ships right now, right?
Is it 10? Jesus.
So, yeah, I just counted them. If you have all of them, guess how many starfighters we have right now?
Probably 50 something?
Correct, 49.
49. Oh,
And the Raven's Claw hasn't even, been farmable yet. So
yeah, it just came into the
yeah,
weekly
shipments.
Yeah.
So that's the 49. So let's hear a 7 per 7 times 7 is 49. We can only fill out 7 fleets fully, right? Out of 10. Even if you had everything. That's something's got to give, man. I don't know. This is getting
dumb. The year of the ship, they are bringing out more ships, so they just need to fill out more ships. So if they, if they could bring out some more ships and round out these fleets, will be okay. I mean, and we don't need all, like, for instance, if you're going to use, Negotiator, you're not going to use Mace's capital ship. You only have one Empire fleet you're going to figure, realistically fill out, right? It's either going to be Executrix or Chimera. I like to see some more ships come in now that we've got Profundity. I agree with you. I think we need at least 5 to 10 more ships rounding out these fleets.
But it's terrible because if you have Profundity and Admiral Akbar, like, we don't have 2 fleets for it right now.
Well,
like, unless you whaled.
Well, so yeah.
Unless you've whaled on Ravens, there's no way. I mean, Akbar's dead because you have to decide where the Falcon's gonna go. And it
Falcon, yeah,
seems,
he goes on Profundity. I mean, that makes
yeah,
sense.
then that Akbar fleet's not doing anything. I mean, you could throw it on defense just to get obliterated, but you're not beating any decent fleet.
I don't know
I
because
don't even,
I haven't even really had a chance to do much with Raven's Claw with everything because yeah, you lose the Falcon, but I haven't really done enough with it to kind of give an assessment of it, right? Plus, mine's 5 star. You know, the pilot's great, but 5 star, I'm sure it can do some good work. But I don't really know. You're still going to have Biggs and Ewing in there as your starting lineup, and as long as you put the investment into Biston, yeah, you're still going to get that first turn, right? But I don't. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know how effective it is.
yeah, but who's calling the assist? Oh man, I forget. Someone was breaking it down and without the Raven's Claw, and there's one other ship that still can call assist on there, but it's it's one of it's one of the two. It's either Ghost or Phantom, but you want those on that, right? Because the Profundity gives cargo ships extra stuff. I assume you want both of those on there to bring out your, um, you know, extra ships faster because that's the whole point of those two is you get one and then you get a next one right after that. Yeah, I mean, if you think what's left, it's Biggs, Wedge, um, Piston,
Cassian.
Cassian, I guess.
Yeah, but those are really good ships. I don't know where I still think the home one fleet's really good. I just don't know how good yet because I haven't really dicked around with it. But even with the aluminum Falcon Han version, there's still a little bit of RNG with that because sometimes you do those fights and you're like, oh, no call and assist. Well, that sucks. It's just the way it goes. So yeah, we'll get some answers on that. I'd like to get the Ravens Claw with you to 7 stars and kind of see what the potential is, and it may just be different, than what it was with the Millennium Falcon. So we'll see. But yeah, I don't know why that ship's not out yet. Like why that ship is not out in the ether for us to farm yet. I don't know. It's been 9 going on 10 weeks. Jeez. Okay. Did I do this question? I don't remember. Nathaniel Morgan question. Since Malevolence feed speed. No, we did that. Let's see. Fel Reagan question. Who would you recommend for a tank for an EP Mar Vader team? Shore Trooper or Stormtrooper? Ideally Royal Guard, but they're both really good. There's no wrong answer here. Shore Trooper does the heal and all that other stuff, and Stormtrooper. Depends on what you want to run with your Imperial Troopers or your Iden team. Because those two can mix and match their EP Mara Vader team. I mean, ideally.
I think you hit it. It's Royal Guard if you have it. Because if you're going to run that lineup too, you're probably going to have Thrawn most likely in that.
Yeah,
as
Thrawn in there
as
with
the
his Royal
fifth.
Guard.
I mean, honestly, if you have it tuned right, you don't need a tank.
No.
You should go so fast that they should basically take no turns. So honestly, you don't even need a tank. You can put a lot of times when I was running that before I got Star Killer, it was just TIE Pilot. Just Thrawn TIE Pilot.
Yeah, if you're using
That's
for
all you
offense or
need.
defense, yeah. I mean,
Well, defense is different. If you're, I don't know
you
why
have
you
to
put
have a
it on
tank for
defense, but
defense.
yeah, you have to have Shore essentially,
Yeah.
or Sith Trooper or something. You have to have a pre-taunt if you're putting on defense, but I don't know why you do that.
Yeah, the team's too good for offense. I know Nev likes it a lot. I mean, he's used EP Mara to take on Rays for the age of the Datacron came in. That was like his go-to counter, and now he. But eventually, you're going to replace that with Starkiller with
Yep.
Mara on that team. EP and Mara on that team with Starkiller. So it'll change, but with Vader on there, EP Mara. Depending on what your gear is on them, I'd say Shore Trooper, throw Thrawn in there. If you have Royal Guard, he's actually more ideal if you're going to run that team. Just so you have that tank. Royal Guard's really, really good for that team. As long as you get the ton in there. But I mean, Epic's right. You can even go in there without a tank if you're faster than them. You know you're faster than them, and then just blitz them. Because once the EPMR turn meter train goes, good God in heaven, you can just sit there and do fun stuff all day long. That team would never get a turn, especially if they all get stunned. It's ridiculous.
That team I used to take out Padme's all the time when Padme was still there.
Oh, I would not
On
with the
the
shocks and everything. Good Lord.
Yep.
Good God. Darcyan 1972 question. I guess August Burns Red was a hint how we all felt during the Profundity event. I don't know what in the hell August Burn Red means. I don't know if it was just someone said it was Meathead with a band and he was just.
It was a band apparently. That's
Yeah,
what
so
AP said. He talked to someone over there.
I guess so. I mean, but we have to take a little ownership of this too. We see something like that and we, projected our own thoughts of what that could possibly mean. Sometimes something doesn't mean a damn thing, so as soon as that hit, we were all speculating Red 5, this and that, mainly Red 5. So, but if that's what it means, it's what it means. I'm not overly concerned. Although, yeah, the Profundity event, my goodness. I was losing my mind when we were doing the Profundity event. Me and Clayton were doing it at the same time, just getting through those initial tears. We're like, "What the hell is this?" Yeah, he could probably would have been trolling us there, Darcyan. It wouldn't surprise me in the least, and that's all right. I don't mind getting trolled. Little cheeky action, it's fine by me. Doesn't bother me one bit at all. Kaya, the lovely Kaya. Hey, Kaya. This is a question. I have 2 Omnis on Malgus. Should I just put the third on? Or put it on Radis. Ooh.
Radis.
That's a tough one. Yeah, Radis is pretty dope.
If you have him up, do you do that first?
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming the one you're missing is the one I'm missing, which I forget what that one. I think it spreads the.
Yeah, which is pretty good. I mean, that's pretty damn nice.
Yeah.
It's there's no wrong call here either way. If you did the one on Malgus, like yay. If you did the one on Radis, I'd be like yay. It doesn't really. You get another team out of it.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. You get another team is what I was thinking
with Radis and the Rogue One characters and stuff. So yeah, you can get another team going because you can still do good stuff with Malgus with the 2. Yeah, I can see that. So probably Radis, and then go back and finish up Malgus. That way you can have another team for your GC that's up and running, and then you can go back and finish the Malgus. There you go. Would have been different. I mean, if Malgus wasn't able to do as good as he was with what those other 2 Omicrons might be a little different, but yeah, I think that's fine. Darcyan 1972 question for the panel: if you have carte blanche to fix our gear economy of the game, what would you do? I mean, we've already said it, man. I don't think this isn't like I've been preaching this
10 times Carbontes. I'm literally out. Literally,
I'm always out of Carbontes. I think the bigger issue is that we are getting, and you can say the same thing for mods too. These characters say that they're all gear 11. Gear 12, the economy for gear 12 is where it's at. That's the next step for relics. Because the problem with gear 12, it is such a pain in the ass to get. And it is such a pain in the ass to farm. Especially with the purple pieces for gear 12. It's really slows people down. But the problem I have with the same thing with mods as I do with gear, you ask us to farm this stuff to get to relic 0 or to take a mod to 6E. Then you go right back around and the same pieces of gear that you just had us use or materials to get those things to that level, we then have to farm more of it to then salvage or use to get the character to a higher relic level. If that's going to be the case, you either have to do one of 2 things. Either change what's required for, the actual gear stuff for salvaging, or get us more salvage from the deal. because if you've done any Relic 9, 260 of those right side pieces is really brutal, and they're your furnaces, that kind of stuff. It's really nasty. Um, but it's hard to you get to gear 12, you get all the gear 12 pieces on, you take the character to Relic 0, and then you start going up and doing salvage, and salvage is pretty much a problem in this game right now. And then I got to go farm the same kind of crap to salvage in some cases. It's like, ugh, God damn it. So they need to increase dramatically gear 12, in my opinion. Um, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's so many players, getting stars is not the big hold up, because if you're going to go free to play, I mean, you're going to farm it slow anyway. But even getting gear 12 is, really difficult. Even with all the stuff that we got through the events and stuff, it's still, there's the raids, and it's RNG and what you get from the raids, and it's the gear pieces are just really tough to get. And if you've ever farmed any, like I'm farming the binoculars, whatever they're called, right now, because I'm completely tapped out on gear. The drop rates are horrible, especially for in the ship store or the ship nodes, and I'm farming those, and you do 20, you get 3. It's like, God, what are these Carbantes? Christ's sakes, I do agree with you, Epic, about the Carbantes, because it's just a piece that is, regardless of whether it's a new character or an old character, some of these just require so many Carbantes, it's ludicrous. And then mods are the same thing. We've got a backlog of stuff that we just can't do anything with, because there's only so much of this stuff we can get. And taking a mod to 6E to 6A takes forever. And then trying to get, farm materials, you need 50 of each, and then you need 20 of the one piece to take a mod to 6E. That takes a long time to get mods to 6E. I don't know the exact answer. I just know that it needs to be addressed. Either increase the amount of gear so that way people can get more drops, more gear quicker, so that they can get through, and then maybe it's not as bad on the salvage, or change what needs to be salvaged at upper levels.
So there's a couple things. They could either up the percentage, or like the shards for characters, which they doubled. They should do something like that. Maybe, like, especially on the non-hard tier nodes, nothing should be 1 now. Everything should be at least 2, and maybe even 3. So, like, because you need so many of them, like, it should not be 1, and you're a 1 chance of a drop. So, like, both those things should change. But also, they should restructure the whole raid stuff, because it's ridiculous. I got 2 or 3 in the Sith raid, and you do get, sometimes you get lucky, you get good piece. I got a full knife, which is fine. But, like, some of the gold stuff, you can get, like, 20 furnaces or whatever on the drop. But, like, that purple stuff is, like, 3. That's ridiculous. Like, that needs to go up by, like, 10. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. They need to change the raid stuff. And they should go back in the old raids that were simming and put some of this stuff in it. I mean, that's one of the better things. Or finally do those hard tiers of the other, at least the tank, and just put a crap ton of that stuff in there. I mean, there are easy ways. They just, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, allegedly they're going to roll out part 2 of part 1 and say something about maybe part 2 coming in 2 years. So I don't know. It's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah.
There's not enough. You don't get enough currency. It funnels you out to crystals, and it just feels dirty to buy Carbantes for crystals.
Well, I refuse. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I mean, no. I mean, unless I'm like have a 1 piece away, and I just like, all right, I use 280 crystals or something. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah,
I can say that.
Yeah, it's one of those rare occasions. I mean, and I mainly just use my crystals for characters. So when the marquees come out, I don't buy the packs and stuff anymore. I just save my crystals, and I'll get them out of the weekly shipments in stores and stuff like that.
Mine is all gear or relic stuff, because I can't do the first relics, the packs, like that, converting them for whatever it is, 4 or 6. I refuse. buy all that with crystals.
You can do that. There's different ways of how
Like,
you. Yeah, it's all about management. This is a resource management game, so how you want to manage your resources is, it's fine. So since I've done Profundity, I am gearing. You talk about Corbantes. I'm taking up the Phoenix pilots to gear 11 so I can get all the ship abilities and stuff up. God damn, they take so many Corbantes. It's ridiculous. Every one of those bastards take Corbantes. And I mean, it's like Zeb to get to gear 9 takes 150. It's like, good lord, God in heaven. So, yeah.
that's not even bad. Malgus. So I started this with almost 1,000 of them. I did Malgus. I did the Persperos. I was doing a couple other to start Ray for Ben Swallow. And then I changed and I was starting to move up um, the Rogue One characters. And like that was it. Like I got them to gear 9-ish, all of them, and I was out of Carbantes. Like that took 1,000.
Oh yeah,
And that was
there's
1, 2, 3, 4, and then like what, maybe five of those characters. So like between 9 characters, not even getting them all to even like gear 11, was already 1,000 Carbantes, like just gone.
Well, it's interesting with the gear changes, the stun guns, stun cuffs, and droid collars. The level.
Yeah, no problem now.
Yeah,
None.
those are not a
Yeah.
problem. So that's been addressed. But the Carabantes, and they're still coming on new characters. I mean, I did Ninth Sister recently, and she took like 450. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it's on top of the Chirotex that you have to do. So yeah,
Now I'm out of the raid gear. Actually, like there's an eyeball that's not the standard one. That just gold. Like
the gold
I
eyeballs.
randomly,
Oh yeah. Those are always.
I randomly ran out of that one, so now I have to buy that everywhere. And there's one of the data pads that's gold too, and I can't keep those in stock now. So that's put 2 other things that I never had problems with before are now problems for some reason. I mean, it's going back to the old character, sure, but like you think they fixed half of it, and then all of a sudden you realize the other half.
Well, you don't think about it like that. I always get caught with those purple binoculars, whatever they're called. It's always like, God dang it, I forgot. I don't farm them. I'm like, oh, bloody hell.
Yeah.
I just wait till that in the Cheddar comics always come back and bite you in the ass.
Yeah, the comlinks are always
Every
like,
time I get one of those characters with that on there, I'm like, God damn it, because I have everything else. I'm like, oh, for real, Cheddar comlinks? Oh my God.
And the purple grenade, whatever grenade that is that everybody takes.
The
I farm them, but I'm always down to like on the edge of having one.
Yeah, it's
those two are always running out. At least those are in the store consistently.
Yeah, you can get them out of the store. You're just not expecting because they're pretty few and far between where you need them. But when you do need them, man, just Michael.
Well, yeah,
Michael.
Certain characters take like 150 of them, and then you're like, crap.
Yeah. Michael W. Huntington III has joined us. Hello, Michael.
Good afternoon.
Well,
how you doing?
Good afternoon to you, sir. How is life in jolly old England?
Yeah, not too bad. Just finishing watching the. I recorded to go out earlier, so I just finished watching the F1 qualies. Didn't disappoint. So that done. Oh, also, big thanks to you. Thank you. I was in an Einstein loop of trying the same thing and nothing have been changing on Profundity. And I flicked on and saw that you were streaming, and I borrowed your tactics, your tic-tacs, and they worked. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. That's why we do this shit, so you guys can see me getting my ass kicked for hours on end, and then we, figure it out. People in chat or Clayton and me just we're like we do every time there, Mike. You see me, we just power through, but some of it's just RNG. I mean, you can come up with the right strategy, fleet, and tactics, right? But you still need RNG because even with me changing to the fleet that we were using for that event, I still had to get the right RNG. Clayton, and the big thing is I just didn't have the gear, which was kind of the bait and switch. I didn't have the gear on the Phoenix, right? That the most effective ship, and when we couldn't use Phantom, no, yeah, we couldn't use Phantom and the Falcon on this, which really sucked. But if you didn't have the gear on the Ghost, which Ghost was the most ideal ship to be in the lineup, it was damn near impossible. So I had to use the one that we were using, and it's completely RNG. And the 4 and 5
God,
star
isn't it?
fights, yeah, I mean the tier fights were brutal enough, but the 4-star and 5-star fights, good lord, dude. I mean those were horrible. You know,
It took me a while to realize with RNG that the Y bomber didn't always have to start with health block on,
Mm-mm.
and that was RNG. And once you don't get that, it makes working through the opening salvo a lot easier. So yeah. But no, thanks. Is that Epic from BHG days? Epic or different Epic?
Don't know. I don't know Epic Fell's guild history.
Oh,
Different. I had my own guild until I moved to MC6 about
okay.
a year and a half ago.
I didn't see the fill bit. I just saw I saw a name and then /Epic, and so I was going all nostalgic from back in the old when BHG were the main challenge to TI. There was one of the upper members or officers or whatever was called Epic. And I think he had like 9 accounts that were all mega.
9 accounts, good lord.
He did screenshots of all the devices that he had for each different account. I mean, was dedication.
What is he, Avanash? What's going on here, man? Jesus.
I think he was retired military, so he enjoyed the mental stimulation that only 9 accounts requires. God, I struggle with one.
One's enough for me, man.
Yeah.
You watched when I was doing Grande stuff, when I was doing mine and Grande stuff, when I was running this account. I almost lost my mind, dude. You know, you go in there, you do GHC, and you're like, yay, I'm done. Oh, I have to do another one. Damn it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I just did TDW. Oh, I got to do another one.
And then I'm going to do this. Hang on. Why
do it
isn't
again.
it doing this? Oh,
God,
it's not mine.
Yeah, I have to do another one. So, yeah, it was... all right.
I had 2 until about Conquest, and Conquest killed the alt. I mean,
too much.
Can't do 2 Conquests.
It's
hard enough doing 2 JCs.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. All right. So if you guys have questions, get those into the chat. Make sure you put the word question in front of your actual question statement. That's how I identify questions. So get your questions in. We'll go to 11 my time, so you got about another hour and 15 minutes of us hanging out with you guys, answering questions on a Saturday morning here in the U.S. It's Saturday afternoon in jolly old England with Michael W. Huntington III, Secret Gaming Service. All right, next question from Darsar 1972. It says, after Jabba's last marquee for the last set of requirements, what do you anticipate the last quarter of the year will focus on besides Jabba? Well, I did get something sent from you from Clayton yesterday. I don't know if you saw the stream yesterday, guys, but apparently 6-6 that we got a neutral TB coming and some other stuff. Couldn't confirm it because I don't know if it had been removed or not, but like one it's a neutral TB. Didn't say it didn't really have. I didn't have the context of it. I was just taking the screenshot and was sent to me. And that what was it? You would need the Inquisitors for the Riva, the third sister, to get her done. What else was in there? Something else. Just a neutral TB. Didn't have anything else other in there, but that it was apparently 6-6 said that. So it could be a TB. They could do another legendary lord again, like they did last year at this time, like they did Starkiller. They can introduce something. What that would be, I have no idea. What do you guys think? I mean,
Andor. It's going to be Andor, isn't it? Andor's about.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
it's got to be Andor. I mean, we've had from the Mandalorian. We've had from Boba Fett. Surely, I mean, it's the next big one. They're dropping the trailers and teasing it out. So, Andor, and the fact that they're actually giving him an Omi.
Yeah, the Andor series is going to have some new characters and stuff in it as well. I mean, Bad Batch season 2 is right around the corner, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, but My only problem is they never put out something that is active. Like, I don't think we would get that stuff until
After the
maybe
season.
February, March of next year, honestly.
Mhm.
The only character I could see from that, because it's been in other things, would be if they dropped Saw Gerrera, because he was in Rogue One. You could set him as Rogue One and or whatever. Because the problem is, what faction is he going to go in? Is he just a rebel? Like, if they put new stuff from that, is that just more rebels? I mean, we don't really need more rebels.
They could, yeah. I mean, if they wanted, they can give them any tag they want. I mean, I'm not overly, you know,
I honestly think they may go back to it. If you think about what people would want or what would get money going into Christmas, it's either Red 5 or something Mandalorian. And if we're doing ships, wouldn't it be cool to have the new Mandalorian ship to go with
oh yeah, people
our
have wanted
Best
that for a
Star?
while. Oh God, yes. Are you kidding me?
So, I mean, in my mind, those are the two slam dunks if they actually want to slam dunk something at the end of the year. But like, I don't know. The wind's blowing so weird right now. I don't know what they. I, I honestly don't know. They're going so slow too. It seems like they're just gonna, like, the way they're holding Jabba. He may not be released until going into the end of October or something.
It's because they've lent Lord of the Rings their laptop, isn't it?
Yes,
That's why
it is.
we're having to wait because they're still copying and pasting our game into that. and Prime have beaten Andor and Disney by launching the Lord of the Rings series.
I don't know.
I did say that before.
They'll do something because Jabba will be coming. I don't know. We'll get either next week or this week coming up or the week after. We'll get the final requirements, the Marquis and the other characters, and then I'm still thinking end of September we get Jabba, and then October, November, December we'll see what they do for the holidays or what they're gonna do. For
what movie had the anniversary? Was it Return of the Jedi?
Yeah, it's Return of the Jedi. We know we're gonna get characters from Return of the Jedi. What?
Yeah, that's probably
what types, but I don't know.
I mean,
we actually ruled out that we won't get a carbonite hand.
I want the Peter Griffin version. Well, one ability. Sorry, he just starts melting, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, that's nasty." The rest of the team just passes out and dies. Oh God.
I guess some of this depends on what the last requirements are, because Boosh, however you pronounce it, that is a character that crosses over both, right?
It could, yeah. It depends on what the tag they give for it. I mean, we'll see. I mean, it could be Bosch Leia, it could be Bib Fortuna. I still think R2 and Chewie and Mob and Force are going to be some of the other ones that are going to be required. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll know when we know.
Mob Enforcer is 100%. Isn't there another one that got the tag that wasn't in it yet? I forget.
The other one was Piggy, and Piggy's in there. I don't think there was any other ones I can remember that. Boba Fett too could go in there as well. I forgot about Boba Fett. Boba Fett. Okay.
Sarlacc pit. That's what they should have done. Something around the Sarlacc pit.
We'll see. We'll see. Whatever they decide, we'll just adapt. Darson, 1972 question: for the love of all, for the love of God, for the love of all things, can we please get away from the Inquisitor Galactic challenges? We got it, CG. You want us to farm this team?
Yes, please. Yes.
I have them, and I'm still.
They're not bad.
They're not good either. Some of them are bad. That purge mechanic, Mike. Come on, man. That purge mechanic sucks sometimes.
No, you see, I'm stuck in something that they're Ewoks or they're Geos or they're, it's death by 1,000 cuts most of the time, isn't it? It's that mechanic. it's swarm or hive, whichever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
It's just.
I mean,
It's
it's okay. Do it once and sim it for the rest of the times or whatever. But
Well, I think
yeah.
that's the salt battles you're talking about. This
Yeah,
is the
they're
Galactic
not in there yet.
Challenge, the Galactic Challenge one, right? So, and I've only
Yeah.
beaten tier 2, I think, with the Inquisitors. I'm not beating tier 3. I'm not taking Great Inquisitor to like and them to Relic 9 to do that. I mean, eventually maybe one day, but I mean, it's hard enough just to use the damn Inquisitors as
I
is.
can't
But
remember whether mine's either 5 or I think he's 7. I took mine to 7,
mhm.
and he's got. I've only put one of his Omis on, but that's obviously for TW more than anything else, isn't it?
I haven't bothered to do that, man.
R7, and the rest of them. The Purge one, I find I have to put on second sister. I have to swap out 8th brother. I think it is 8th brother for second sister to get the Purge. But stupidly, I got her Datacron, so I took her to 7 as well. But I didn't get the one where she stuns and everyone stuns them to get the maximum out of it. But they're okay. I mean, I tried out. I'm probably going to put a GAC video out later where I use Malgus against JML. Wow, loving that, and using Inquisitorius to take out CLS. And CLS, I mean, I think I got 65 banner or something on that.
Yeah. It's got its moments, but it's for what we had to go through to get that stuff, the gear and the events and everything. It's like
definitely they should be better for what the amount of things you have to jump through, the hoops you have to jump through to get them.
God, yeah. If we had the Inquisitor, it's time to slow it down. But it doesn't look like it is. Let me look here. Is there an event up? Let's see, we have. I don't think the new one's up. Well, no, I guess we are getting away from because the last one was Separatists and the next one's going to be Droids. All right, that's not bad. If they're going to start slowing them down, then good. Good. All right, let's get to some more questions here.
Yeah, but they're still in.
All right, we're not going to get to more questions. Okay, what?
They're still in freaking Conquest every single time.
They have been, but I'm saying what it looks like they might be slowing that down finally, but. Yeah, but in Conquest too. Yeah, God, yeah, there's still some feats with those. But I mean, they're going to be on there. I mean, not like they were the last set of Conquest, but they're still there. There's some feats associated with it.
Okay, so the Hutt Cartel that aren't requirements yet are Mob Enforcer, Embo, Cad Bane, and Boba Fett.
Yeah, I can see one of those guys they could. They've got. Yeah, I still think Chewie and R2 might be a part of this, but maybe they mix up and put a couple of those guys on there. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see. So definitely some possibilities there. I didn't know that those other ones got so cool. Neil Venom's question: what about a new Kenobi series tune? Maybe we should get a new Obi-Wan from the series. Great. What I always wanted: another goddamn Kenobi.
Leia for the dodge meta, right?
Kid Leia.
Kid Leia, just dodging everything. That's all she does.
Oh God, no.
She gives dodge up to your team.
I don't. No.
Need more Mr. Beardies though, don't we?
We have.
Haven't we got more Mr. Mustachios now than Mr. Beardies?
I don't want like 20.
And Mr. Mustachio's not as big as Mr. Beardy.
Oh, God, I don't want more. Oh my God.
The only character I can really see besides Reva, I guess.
Well, they could bring in Reva.
Would be Vader.
They could bring in third sis.
Actual galactic, like Legend Vader, Darth Vader, or whatever.
We can get Reva.
Something above.
There's the other Inquisitor female that was in there, and I can't remember her name.
Yeah, she was in 2 shots, maybe. Yeah,
you can still bring her in,
Turd. The turd.
I think
the turd.
I think the Vader. If you did that show, you want that Vader as a.
I don't want more
whatever
Vader's
you call
Kenobis,
it, the journey.
Please. No, just no more, no Moss, please.
We only have one Vader though. Darth Vader.
That's all you need is mother effing Darth Vader.
Yeah, but they've
Make Vader
nerfed him
great
so
again.
Yeah, they could now, but they're not going to. So it would
know.
only be a new one. And I think that's, I mean, look how many Lukes and Mr. Beardies.
Well,
and
let's do other
stuff.
characters. No more. No, I don't need another 10 Hans or 20 Chewies in the game, please. God damn it. Oh my god. OBC question. I'm farming Starkiller requirements. Other than Starkiller Omicrons, is it worth putting them on Dash or Kyle? Or should I save them for SWGOH or other GAC future Omicron releases? I don't have the one for Dash or Kyle, so I don't think you need either of those. They're nice, but I don't. Wait, Kyle's TV, isn't it?
Yeah,
yes.
TV.
Yeah.
Not Kyle.
It's Monster, but it's TB.
Dash for me has been underwhelming, but if you have that squad, it works. It will trick people up, but you have to have L3, because she's the one who really benefits from it, taunting endlessly.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what Clayton said he used with that. I think he used he geared him up too and relicked him. Young Han, Young Lando, Kira L3 with, or no, Vandor was on that team. Vandor with.
You have to have Vandor because he brings
Vandor, Young Lando.
It has to be Dash, Vandor, L3. Then you can swap out the last two. It doesn't
I think
matter.
he did Kira and Young Lando on that,
sure.
and it's still a pretty disgusting team.
I have Kara Vet Han because I like Vet Han's stun just to be back there, and he if he gets hit with an EOE. It's early, man. Not enough coffee. He's gonna fire back, right? He's got.
Yeah, Dash is okay. I wouldn't be upset if you did Dash. Kyle, no.
I like Asajj, but you have to have the squad, right? Mine's the only relic I have is Daka because I want to get through the next tier of that insane thing. Talking about those.
What, Night Sisters?
Yeah, the Night Sister one.
You can say Night Sisters. It's not a dirty word like Ewoks here.
Yeah. I like it. It works really well. I mean, I've had it where none of them had protection, and by the end of it, they basically gave me full banners. So it's a cool one, but you have to have the squad.
I'm not sold on SWGOH. Just the teams. I mean, you can.
SWGOH. Sorry, yeah, I thought it was.
No, it's all right. You can talk about the Night Sister one too, but I mean, there's just better ones out there. I mean, I just don't think there's SWGOH.
So
it's just
that one's interesting to me only because, and this will have to be tested. I agree with you. If you're still using the Triumvirate to take whatever, I do wonder, he's another, because that thing will give him taunt now, like teams that do a ton of call-in assists and stuff are gonna have to hit him now too. And he, with his stuff, I assume you're gonna have to have the Zeta too on him. Like, he gets all kinds of crazy stacking things. Like, he's gonna be hard to kill by assisting teams with that auto taunt on him now. So there is a thing. That's the only thing I can think he's get useful for, though. Yeah. Is if you're going to run him with the Triumvirate there, you need the what's her face, the lady of
Darth Talon.
Hate there. No.
Treya Talon.
Treya. Thank you.
Yeah.
Treya.
Treya.
I think he's only useful with under a Treya lead. That's the only thing I can see.
I mean, yeah, you can run with his brother, but I mean,
no, because that's stealth. I guess, but that's already gonna run stealth. So
yeah,
I put him in my C lineup so he cleanses the Sith.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Sith Empire Trooper.
Oh, interesting.
That's where I've used him so far. I did a post on. Well, there was a thing on Reddit going on about dodge crongs and stuff, and also about his Omi. I was wondering. I mean, obviously, it will only be limited for as long as the Datacron's in effect. But there's the level 6 Sith Datacron at the moment, isn't there, where they gain 400% offense equal to their defense, and doesn't he get a shed ton of defense with this Omi or something?
Yeah,
I might have that all wrong.
He does. His kit gives him defense. In fact, if you wanted to do leader, he gives everybody defense. He's got some weird mechanics.
So I mean, if you were to
yeah.
run his lead with his Omi, I mean that could be wow.
Yeah,
interesting.
So
yeah,
LBZ...
it makes it interesting. But I mean, I was saying he'll probably feature a lot under a Darth Maul lead, especially with Dodge Crons.
Defense up every time he gets hit is just in his kit.
Yeah, and then
pain is weakness. Sith allies get 75% defense and 30%.
Oh my god, that was it. It was Darth Maul, Savage, Sith Assassin, Mr. Beardy, so they all got retribution. Yeah, that'd be a lovely one, wouldn't it, to face on Dodgecon?
Oh god, let's not talk about that. But yeah, other than Starkiller, I'd say your stuff right now. Unless there's some other GAC Datacrons out there that you might want to put on, like we talked about it. Wait, what? Who is that?
Hello?
Is that...
Oh, hello. I'm going to have to go. Have fun.
Okay, all right, get out of here, Mike.
Thanks,
have a good one, Mike.
Right. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers. Hopefully that was... I think that was either swear or dancing, and we could not have sweary going off again. Oh... Neo Venom question. I say we could still get 2 Leias from episode 6. Leia in the bounty hunter uniform and Bikini Leia. No, we're not getting Bikini Leia.
No,
but they could call. No,
it'll be Endor.
No, it'll be General Leia or and Bosch, but that's it. We're not ever getting Bikini Leia. We want Bikini Leia, but we're no. I'm sorry. Move along. Psycho Drum says, question, more of a statement. I dusted off an old alt months ago. Just unlocked my first yell. Congratulations. Slowly working my way up Erodium, only playing GSC when I have time, but GSC is way more fun below Kyber. Well, that's a true statement, I think, because at Kyber,
correct,
it's rough. It's rough stuff. It's really rough.
Yeah, I don't love it.
Yeah, it's well, it's rough. With me and Epic both have PTSD. Like, yeah, it's Kyber 1. Great.
I'm at Kyber 3, and it just depends.
Yeah.
I lost by 10 banners. Now I'm against a guy. He's a million GP more, 5 to 3 GLs, and that's not uncommon.
Yeah,
it's always fun.
All right, let's see here. Next question. Oh, God, it's Helly question time. All right, prepare yourself there, Epic Fails. We have to get through this. Is he lurk? Yeah, he is. He did the work lurk where he jumped in, put questions in, and then lurked out. He's there. I can smell him, but he's not visible at the moment. Well, we can't do Michael Huntington because he's had to go handle sweary.
I could do a terrible British accent.
No, please don't. No, I do one already. That's just all the chat can handle. Holly says, question for Epic Fell. Despite being a D1 SWGOH gamer, I have been able to 3-star the last 2 tiers of the Force Moon Assault battles. What team comp works best?
For the what?
The Force Moon Assault battle, the one going on today with the Ewoks.
Oh,
that's what are the 2 teams? It's
Let
Imperial
me
Troopers, right? I think I use Imperial Troopers on that.
That's what most people do. I've never had them good enough to do that.
I'm trying to think of.
So you can probably answer it better than I do.
I use Imperial Troopers, especially once you get Dark Trooper. That will just destroy it. What is the other team you can use in there? It's Imperial Troopers, or what's the other team? Bounty Hunters? No, droids.
No. Right? Yeah, but
you just have to build up the team, dude. But Imperial Troopers is the team, dude. I mean, you go in there and you just destroy them.
This one I'll have to give them a TBD because I have just moved up characters and I'm looking through it, and Mara Jade is now in there.
It
So
could be
you may be
Empire.
able to you may be able to do an Empire train now between
Yeah.
Palp, Vader, Piet. You should have Mara Jade and Thrawn or Death Trooper, probably Death or
Yeah, I beat it.
Dark Trooper.
Yeah, I beat it back in
Excuse
the
me.
day too with before Mary Jade. It was Palpatine, Vader, Thrawn. I think I used Death Trooper as well, and then one more. I think it had a tank in
Dark
there.
Trooper. Yeah, I
Yeah,
messed that up.
something like
Sorry.
that. But yeah, so it can be done. There's multiple ways. Hell, next question for Ranger. Oh boy, did you appreciate my question for
Oh, there's Death
Epic? It may have legitimately helped people. See you, Ranger. I told Finn I'm not entirely useless. I'm mostly useless. Love you, brother. All right, Hell, get your ass back to work. Good lord. Just
And
just
Iden, you can use Iden now, although I guess their Omicron doesn't work, so it's not as good. That's what stinks about that stuff.
yeah. Yeah,
Stuff never
anything,
works outside
any of
of
those two
it.
Empire teams go in there, you can kick some ass.
Yeah,
Separate, you
that's
can do
what I'm
separatist droids
gonna
with it
try.
too. Yeah, I mean, there's a few teams you can use. It's
I
fine.
guess, but honestly, what people were doing back in the day was actually Thrawn lead. You don't, because the problem with Grievous is he keeps on killing
Oh yeah.
your own
You
guys,
don't
so
use
you kind of
Grievous.
don't
Yeah,
want
you don't use Grievous.
Grievous.
You use the droids with the team. And they're talking about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, Thrawn B1, B2, Magna BB8. Yeah. But yeah, that
yeah,
can be done. But yeah, ideally, Imperial Troopers, just once you get them up and running, even without Dark Trooper, you can still take it out with with Death Trooper and stuff. So you have to time your abilities. But if you got the kill and you're stacked, yeah, you'll be fine. Dark Trooper just makes it. So anyway, let's see here. Psycho Drum's question. Will posting daily to the forums about hating Datacrons matter, or am I just wasting my time? No. So here's the thing. I know this for a fact because I talked to CG. I was a beta tester. I know that they get that feedback and they look at it. Doesn't necessarily mean just because they hear the feedback is that maybe they disagree with it, or but they listen to it and they look at it and then they make their own decisions about it, right? So keep it up. I mean, speak your mind. Say what you need to say on the forums. It's not a problem to do that. I do know it's heard. What they do with it is a different story, but I do know that it's being heard. Now, what they do with it is a whole different matter. At the end of it's like when I was a beta tester. I always said that I did what I did, and I would give my opinion. You can, I'm just the advisor here. I can just tell you what I think, and here's my thoughts. Take it, do with it what you will. You're going to make the decision at the end of the day, but I'm still going to tell you. I'm still going to voice my opinion. And I'm going to let you know what I think, because that's what I'm here to do. But yeah, just keep going. I mean, that's what the forums are there. That's why that stuff is there, so you can just keep venting your frustration, or keep saying what you got to say. I mean, even if you're in the minority on an opinion, it's still important to have that opinion out there. Maybe people may agree with it. Some people will disagree with, agree with it. Some will disagree with it. But at the end of the day, put it out there. All you can do is just voice your opinion. So that's all you can do. All right. If you have any questions, remember, guys, for me to scoop up question, put the word question in front of your actual question statement, or I'm not going to probably see it, because we use Nightbot as a filtering tool, and I use the filtering word question so I can actually get your question scooped up out of the chat. So if you have a question, put it in there. All right. Darsign 1972 question. Any idea when the Grand Inquisitor event will be back? I have them all farmed and working on getting the Last Inquisitors to relics. Thank you. Should be this month sometime. What did it come out in June? I think June, July, August. Yeah, September. End of September, maybe. You should start expecting it. Maybe a little bit earlier, but I mean, June to July, July to August, August to September. Yeah, it could be right around the corner. So if you, I think that's right, 3 months. 3 to 4 months. That's sometime either September, beginning of October, something along those lines. It's going to be here sooner rather than later. So I think you'll be okie dokie. Refreshing the page. Turn the page. Frenchie, well, that's a name I have not seen before. Welcome. Says that question: do you think RNG should play this big a part of the game? God, where do we start on this one?
Should
play?
I mean,
no. So here's
no.
the thing. Yeah, I think me and Epic are on the same page. It's not that it's RNG. RNG happens. I don't think we have a problem with that, but it seems like it's too manipulated. Like, there's times where I'm just like, especially, and this is most prevalent in Fleet Arena, whether it's GC, TW, you're doing your normal Fleet Arena, it doesn't really matter. Whenever you're using fleets, the AI is just tuned in a way, it doesn't even feel like RNG. I mean, the RNG is just souped up on it. So where like certain abilities and stuff, it seems to always land. It always seems to do stuff. And then like, I know RNG is supposed to be random number generated, but there's no way you can tell me like the last fight where it cost me the match because I had 3 dodges in a row on a ship that had no business with that kind of dodge chance. You're just like, wait, okay, if it's RNG, then make it bloody RNG. I know there has to be some manipulation with the abilities and stuff or balance and things, but good God in heaven, dude. I mean, Epic and me could probably sit here for hours telling you horror stories of, you know, the RNG in this game. I don't really notice it in ground fights, but ships, it really is prevalent. I mean, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, I just said wait till Datacrons have dodge. I can't wait. Said no one ever. But I don't know how it's attuned. I mean, you know, once in a while, if you're playing and you're doing ships and you get a dodge, and when you just least expect it, you're like, okay, that happened. But it's sometimes when you just see the RNG that happens, like, is this really RNG? And then, you know, I don't know. How do you feel about the RNG in this game? Too much, too little, just right? What do you think there, Epic?
I mean, it's hard, right? Because I mean, if everything goes off, then you're just playing a simulation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if everything hits all the time, then every single matchup that's the same is gonna always go the same. But it's frustrating when it seems like everything's against you. It's always hard to say because what do you call RNG? Like if they resist something or something else, is that RNG or is it just like when they dodge something because it's a minuscule chance? Like I don't know. This game is all baked into that because, for example, you have like 150% tenacity. Well, there's still a roll check, no matter what it is, that they could hit you with whatever that stun or whatever, right? Like nothing in this game is 100% gonna happen because there's always like they bake in that small percentage of failure. So, I mean, that's just kind of the game. Sometimes because the biggest things are when you get down, like you need that stun or you need to kill it on that attack and you miss, you know, by an inch, they get the turn and then everything goes against you. And that just feels terrible. But is that RNG or is that just the way it goes? I don't know. It's some of both. It's just a game.
Yeah, I don't know if it's too much RNG or whatnot. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we need RNG in the game. Obviously, it makes the game more interesting and stuff. But I sometimes just wonder, like, where do you get this set to? Because that doesn't seem like RNG that I normally would want to have in the game. You know, it's more prevalent on ships. It's a little bit different with ground forces, but I don't.
Yeah, they tend to dodge randomly much more
and resist and do all kinds of stuff. You're just like, uh-huh.
I guess. I don't.
I mean,
I don't know.
but it happens. I mean, but yeah, I mean, we do need RNG. It's a tough thing. It's a tough thing to balance. It really is.
Yeah, I think part of it is we notice it in ships because now you just start with 3 as opposed to 5 versus the squad. And usually in squad, you're focusing one character, right? So if you do some kind of AoE or something else, plus the characters now do like debuffs, let's say. They do so many debuffs. If they resist one of the 3 to 5 you're putting on, you're not going to notice it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It may matter, it may not. I don't know. The biggest things I see is like Vader dots and like how many people can just like resist. Like that's sometimes the stuff you really notice. Like you know, now it's not so much a thing because EP is going to be a Star Killer and Mara Jade, but like when it was EP Vader, sometimes it mattered that you hit that crush because if you didn't get dots to start that train, you were just dead in the water. Is that RNG or is that, you know, something else? I mean, I don't know. But like that from back in the day was one of the bigger ones because I had times where you only land a couple dots and all of their squad goes because you're relying on EP to, you know, turn that turn meter to get everything going. So I don't know. It's just the breaks. A lot of that stuff is really hard to tell because you would have to know like all the tenacity of all the characters from the mods and like what bonuses are getting in. Like some of this is RNG and some of it is what the kits are, right? And that's as this has gotten way more complicated, it's a hard thing to parse because some of it is them dodging or resisting on those minuscule rolls, and others is that first check. You know, their tenacity beat your potency, right? So that's the first part of it. And then you have all the rolls of you have the real RNG of, okay, this can just do it because it's baked into it. There's a whatever percentage failure or dodge or whatever you want to say that's just baked into the game to do it. So I don't know.
Yeah. So it's
When you win, it's great. When you lose, it's bad, right?
Yeah, it really
That's
does suck.
It gets down to, and it feels like it compounds. I think that's the thing.
Yeah, it does. It does compound. I mean, it happens, and it wasn't just the ship. I mean, what was it? I was using Bad Batch against Shock T clones with the Datacron. Of course, Datacron completely flipped things on its head on this fight. But I went first, got control, did the AoE from Hunter. I thought I was going to kill a bunch of them. I only killed one, and all of a sudden it flipped. You know, one dodged, one didn't die, and I'm like, well, they're all red. I can still take this out. No, they flipped and just went on a tear, and I ended up losing that fight. I was like, well, that was cruddy. Damn. Oh, my God. So it happens. All right, let's move on to the next question. Dark Side says, do you think they will ever make changes to mod stats to give them more diversity, like adding a spin primary square or a health primary diamond? I don't know if they will. At this moment, I don't see it because if you want adding something like that to the economy as is, boy, no, I don't see it as mods are constructed right now. It doesn't mean in the future they might change them or do some stuff with them. I mean, maybe if they add an additional stat that can be on all mods or something like that, maybe. Trying to think. I mean, we know we got the new mod date coming soon with the next big update that they do, but I mean, what stat, changing some of that stuff? I mean, they could. I guess if it's a primary stat, like you just mentioned, maybe like, yeah, I don't know.
I think it's cool. What they can't really mess with is speed, because that would make people just go
bananas,
crazy. Yeah, because of the investment. I think putting something like health or something in a new area or defense, whatever you want to do, that's fine. It would be kind of cool if they did add more things. I don't know what they could do. I mean, the only one I thought of when this question came up was like, what if they had a dodge mod? That would be kind of hilarious. But I don't know what other stats really matter that they could add on to. But yeah, I mean, sure. It's weird that some have a bunch of different things you can do, like arrows up to accuracy that nobody cares about, but it's there, to where all squares are only offense. That kind of that's weird.
It's
I mean, I guess that would be the
and the circles are either health or protection primary. It's really
yeah.
it's the arrows, the triangle, and the crosses that you have some diversity on the primary stat. So yeah, maybe they can do that with the other sides to just make it to where you can get any main stat on any of the mods. That'd be kind of interesting. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
I wonder if it was the older kits, like they didn't want you to put protection on literally every single mod.
Yeah,
some tanks it would be impossible to get. That's not a thing now with Galactic Legends, but when they came out, obviously there were no Galactic Legends. It could have messed everything up. But that's yeah, because the one is offense, the one is only defense, and that's it. That's really weird. That would be cool.
and make it be a little bit more diversified on the stats and stuff. And then yeah, I mean, primary stats, if they didn't make it to where it could be any primary stat, would be interesting. And I think they can get away with that. The secondary stats and other things, I don't think they need to dick around with that because of all the rolls we've done. I mean, mods moving forward, it'd have to be mods moving forward that you'd have to roll those and stuff. And then, but
it would almost have to be another slot that you got, but then that means like
get more rolling and stuff. And we've got enough on our plate just trying to get these secondary stats and shit up. So if they want to do mods with like, hey, these can now have health and anything else, sure. But I wouldn't dick around with the secondary stats. Good God in heaven. But it'll be interesting. That's an interesting topic there, Darkside.
Yeah, very,
very, very.
I don't think I would say Wales would be against this still because they would say, well, I put this investment and I spent tens of thousands to get the speed right. Now you're going to let people manipulate other stats that I have to go and spend thousands now to, because speed is still the only thing that matters. And you'd have to start from scratch again what way you could do that though, which would be really interesting. And I don't want to say this because it'd be heavily monetized, but what if you could get a currency or whatever, that allowed it to change that primary on the mod?
Yeah, so I did that. I mean,
I have some fast potency ones that I would love to change it to anything else on crosses. And you get those defense ones, and I just sell, even if unless they have 5 speed. I just sell.
I just use credits. Just use credits and then just make it not ridiculous for the cost of it. You know what I'm saying?
But that would be cool if you could roll to change the primary stat on mods you already have. That would be awesome. I'm sure it would get in trouble and there would be some crazy things that would be broken. But that's a cool idea. I like that one.
Yeah, it'd be kind of fun.
Good question, whoever.
All right, Mr. Wilson, Robert Wilson says, question, if you could remove one character from the game, who would it be and why? Who sucks?
There's only one correct answer to this, and her name is a flower. That's all I'll say.
Rose? No, Rose got to be in the game. But, I mean, I don't know. I've never been a big fan of, like, Jedi Guardian or Mob Force. I mean, they can have their purposes, but it's like, really? The main Star Wars characters, whether you like them or not, whether they are roles in the game, so like, it wouldn't break my heart if Mom and Force was like, oh, we just decided to remove it from the game. Oh, darn. Well, they're not now, but back in the day, if they'd said that, yeah, I would have been like, oh, shucks, gosh, darn, that sucks. Ewok Scout is like, okay, the named Ewoks and stuff like Ewok Elder and stuff, those were in the movies. I guess you can keep Scout in, but, I don't know. Going through the list of characters, like, is there one I like, you get the hell out of here and you die? You want to make it Rose, sure. Get Rose out of there. But,
I mean,
I used to say Cup, but then Cup's actually okay in certain circumstances. Mom Forcer just sucks. Good lord, that kid's
yeah.
awful.
I mean, if you're talking just worst character,
Yeah, worst
they,
character that I would remove. Now, if there's
I
one, I'm
mean,
trying to think if there's any character that I just
Resistant
despise.
Pilot is worthless, but the ship.
Yeah, but it's got a ship.
I mean,
Damn it. Yeah, you're right. Forgot about
that
Resistance
would definitely
Pilot.
be up there. Because I can't think of anybody using that character at any time.
I have. It's okay, but yeah, I wouldn't lose sleep.
Uh, yeah. I
Uh,
mean, the problem is a lot of those bottom ones are now
well, as
like
much
being
as
repurposed to Java and other things. So they finally have. So I mean, Gamoran Guard was useless forever. Some of these
Eve
other ones, yeah,
Koth.
yeah,
Not Eve Koth, though, because he's a named Jedi. And even the piggy's got its role to play. I mean, the kit may not be great, but I don't really have hatred in my heart for.
oh well, yeah. I mean,
Um,
mine's just to get Ray, you have to gear her. That's more the hatred than anything else.
she's actually not a
You
bad
get to do the
character.
rest
I've
of it.
used Rose in some teams, man. I mean, her kit is it's not bad. It's not so much the character in the game. It's just some people just don't like that character. Period, because of the movie, which I get. I mean, that's just the way it is. Um, no,
Let's see here.
nobody really anybody else. I mean,
I'm scrolling down.
yeah, the only ones that come to mind was Mob Enforcer, but those days are past.
I mean, Bodhi Rook.
But he's the pilot.
He's not.
He's the
That's the
pilot.
funny thing. No, he's not.
That's what he said in the movie. He's the pilot.
I know, but he doesn't have a ship. Like,
Well,
he is worthless. He may be the most worthless character there is.
I actually know Loki actually back in the day geared him up. He's actually pretty nasty on the Momo team. But I mean, are you really going to gear up somebody like that? You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I'm going to go with Mob Enforcer, but it ain't going anywhere. So we're stuck with her.
See, I would have said, like, Tuscan or Dawa. I mean,
Something along that. Yeah, it wouldn't bother me either. Yeah, I could see those. Yeah. Dark Side. Not Dark Side question: would you be opposed to adding 2 more zones to GAC boards and put in a GP cap per zone? GP cap, yes, I would be opposed to. Adding more zones at this level, it depends. So you have to be very careful with this Dark Side. So Kyber, I don't know, 2 and higher, you can get away with that because most of those rosters are, we've got enough of the teams and rosters to handle it, especially Kyber 1. But when you say add 2 more zones, say like for all of Kyber, there's a big difference between Kyber 5, 4, 3, and then you get into 2 and 1 with the size of the accounts and the number of characters that are actually viable. And by viable, I mean you can use them and be effective. Because there's a lot of people, even in Kyber 2, that are in Kyber 2 that they don't have fully fleshed out teams in some regards. They've worked on specific things. But, I mean, upper echelon, sure. I mean, you can give us another zone for characters, and I don't think we would be that crazy upset about it. We could get away with that. But have to be very careful with something like this. And I don't want to have limited on GP. But I do like having another zone or 2, right? Another zone and mix it up, like where stuff is. That would be kind of fun, right? Another zone and maybe mix up the board a little bit. That wouldn't be too bad. I don't think.
see, if ships weren't like the mess they were, what you could do is add a ship node, right? So you have 2 of them, which would make sense since you have characters on front. Then you can move the character node and put 1 more in back. So you'd have a symmetry in the board, and you could have 2 ships and 4 character, and then even it out to the numbers you need. I don't know. I don't know. Like you said, I'm in Kyber 3, and most people in there unless it's a big account falling. Like you need 8 million plus to have all relic characters on your defense alone, and then have enough to attack. And that's already, what is it? Is it 4, 8, 11? So 22 squads. I mean, I don't know if it could stretch out that much more. I mean, essentially, then you would be going zones of 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, maybe, or 3, 2. So you're gonna add. So it'd be 3, 6, 9, 12. So it jumped to maybe 14. Add only 3 more, or only 2, 13. I mean, I guess it's doable, but it's gonna. I don't know.
I don't think lower Kyber for sure. And
there's so much
yeah
time already. I don't want the time. If you're gonna do it, just add more slots to where stuff is now. I don't see why opening new things is gonna help anything.
It just depends. I mean, eventually we will have to expand, especially in upper echelon, because.
Well, you know, CG, they're just gonna add more. They're not gonna change the board.
Oh, they could eventually. I don't see why they couldn't change the board. I mean, eventually it'll get to a point where they'll change the board up a little bit, right? So that there's another zone, and they could. I see that happening in the future, especially if they keep dropping like all these teams, full teams that we've had to add, like Inquisitors, Jabba's coming into the game, and you're gonna have more characters from these series coming in. So there's a lot of times I have a lot of teams left over, but when I'm doing attacks back in the day, problem is that not so much now, but that has nothing to do with like the amount of teams I have. I just can't use them because of datacrons. Any that I don't have plenty of characters that are relic that I could use. And with teams, it's like they just have no chance against that datacron. So, I don't know.
That's the biggest thing to say no. I mean, you don't want it because the biggest accounts are gonna have datacrons on everything. So,
well, it was just again, it's something you take into stride, and we'll see. I mean, they did increase it. I don't know, a year or so ago. They added additional teams for the zones and stuff.
Well, that's what they're just gonna do. They would just add 3.
Yeah, they could add
because that's what they did with ships. I mean, they just added one.
Yeah, just add one. But if they ever got to the point where they want to mix it up and say add another zone, so there's like 3 front zones and 2 back zones or something like that. I mean, they could do it. I mean, it'd be interesting, but I don't know if they're going to do that anytime soon or what the plan is. I mean, hell, we're still dealing with datacron, so I don't think in the near future we're going to be dicking around with any of that stuff. So yeah.
I mean, but if you do that, that's basically into a territory ward board.
It could be.
I don't think they want to do that. If they expanded, like he said, it's going to be two zones, so you can only go one. Because if you put another forward zone, that means if you beat the middle one, where are you going to go? Like you'd have to have access to both back ones.
No, I mean,
which would then make it into just a TW, and I don't think they want. I don't think they would want to do it that way. They would add 2 zones, but I think if they did that, it would be a ship and 1 more character, and so you'd have all characters, and then you'd have all ships.
Yeah,
but that would mean that we'd have to fill out the fleets.
That's the thing we have to before we even get to that point. We got to get the fleets fully up and running.
You'd have to have. I forget. I was looking at it to see, but like Galactic Republic would need. I forget. I think we have 8 now, so you'd need 6 more. Like most of the fleets to get the second one. Empire's even worse. You need like probably 6 more Empire ships to get that second fleet ready. Yeah, I mean they would have to make every single capital ship viable. So yeah, I don't see an expansion until that would be, happen. Maybe they drop the Ravager and they drop, 5 more Sith ships or whatever. Although that never seems to happen. Seems the capital ship comes and only 1 ship comes. with it, but whatever. You know, we would need the fleets filled out to really do anything with that. I feel if they're going to do anything, they're just going to add another to the board. They'll just go up a number. That's what they're going to do, because that's what they've done before.
Yeah.
They can manipulate that without like costing any money, and we know how CG loves to do it that way. I mean, that would take a coder, I imagine, only a few hours to just say, okay, one more in there. Now it's 6666 or whatever. That's what I would see in the short term.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. If you have any questions, get those in. We are doing our thing. And if you have a question, make sure you put the word question for your actual question statement. That's all you got to do. So we got a few more minutes. We'll go here on a Saturday and then just take it from there. So I'm just looking. I don't see any other questions. So yeah, we'll go for a few more minutes. There's no more questions. We'll shut down a little bit early today. It is Labor Day weekend and stuff. So have some fun with you guys. So we'll do that. Question: EverQuest or WoW? I mean, if I had to pick one, WoW. I mean, as much as EverQuest was my first game, but I mean, yeah.
Never played EverQuest.
It's the prelude to. It was one of the first MMORPG games there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Played WoW just because I feel like there's a crossover to this game for it or something. For a little, maybe I'm thinking of the MM.
Well, for MMORPGs, I mean, well, there was originally in 2003, I think Star Wars Galaxies came out.
Played that.
And then the Old Republic was the other MMORPG for Star Wars. So I played both those. Actually, the original Star Wars Galaxies was incredible. But I played EverQuest 1 and 2. And I mean, we're talking, Jesus, 20 plus years ago. Good God. If I had to pick between EverQuest and WoW, I mean, WoW just kills EverQuest. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have a special place in my heart for EverQuest, but I mean, World of Warcraft is just in another league. So if I had to pick one, then yeah. Alexander Bryan question: when will STR raid be simmable? Your guess is as good as mine, man. Okay, we don't know, so we'll get back to you. What else? 23 question: is it at least kind of disappointing that we didn't get this relic salvage reduction before the Profundity event? The salvage for those slower salvages really adds up. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but you know, yeah. No. No.
Cash money, man.
Straight cash, homie. Rodin's Eye question: if you were in charge at CG, what are the first 3 specific changes you would make to the game? We've already talked about it. Gear, you know, I'd start doing more stuff for guilds and stuff like that. You know,
bring back the raid program. I mean, we need a Death Star or something. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, those are some of the stuff that I would do.
I would probably finish make the triumvirate simmable, make hard tiers on both those two. Yeah. Bring another raid.
Yeah, that kind of ties in with like the economy, making the economy a little bit better. Because I still think you can balance the economy, giving players more, but still make a good profit, for people spending. Stuff like that. I mean, I'd like to introduce more guild activity stuff for guilds to do, because I think guilds are the driving force of this game. Players are players, but a lot of players play because they're playing with their friends and stuff like that, and encourage that kind of environment. So,
well, I think that's why they've done this stuff lately, and trying to put a focus back on TW. That seems their strategy. I don't know if it's working because I'm not in a hardcore TW guild. Maybe at the top, that is. I mean, Loki seems like that's his focus now, so maybe it's working at the top tiers. I don't know, but that seems to be their focus on that.
Well, we'll see. Helly, question, because Ranger's my guy. Well, I dare. Honestly, assess the health of SWGOH at its current state. The dreaded is SWGOH dying question. Too many people quitting. How dare I dare. I think the game's still in a good spot. I mean, but it's not as good of a spot as it was previously. A lot of people have left. And Datacrons were a big driving force of that. And I mean, you know, I don't have the official numbers. I know that they did some profit stuff and a video Arnold did, but I don't know if that includes, is that just in the U.S. or I needed more information. But it did demonstrate that the game has not done as well as it could have been, or should be doing.
I don't think they put. Part of it is I don't think they put out enough stuff regularly anymore. Like talking about that side of it, I don't know if there's enough stuff for them to keep, the revenue streams as high as it was, because that would all depend on new players coming in and trying to catch up. And that's the data you really need to know. How many new people are coming in and spending, because the whales are baked in already. They're going to buy everything new when it comes out, gear it all up, all that jazz. But that's at a slower cycle than it's ever been.
Yeah,
so we'll see.
We'll see. Darsign 1970 question: Red 5 to make Akbar fleet viable without the Falcon? Yeah, I would bet.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hope for Christmas. We'll see.
Star Knight JBS. Oh, hey, what's going on, JBS? Says, hey, brother, long time we talked and so damn sad the last few days. Oh, what's going on? Says our oldest son needed to get out of our home. Need professional help and feeling so damn sad about it. Just needed to share it. That's all right, brother. Trust me, we've all been there. Kids ain't listen, if you're a parent, sometimes you got to give tough love, and sometimes you got to do stuff that's, it's best for the kid. And if he needs professional help, hey, look, I remember my father telling me this one time. He said, if you ever get in trouble, I'll be there for you, but you're gonna take responsibility for it. And he's like, I always love you, but I can love you from jail too. So, just understand how that works. That kind of stuck with me a little bit. It's like, yeah, I get it. And it's a fair thing to say. There's only so much you can do, and there's only so far you can take it. And, it's a sad time, of course, but, sometimes you got to kick somebody in the ass. Sometimes they got to fall down. So they learn their lessons. And sometimes they just have to go through tough times so they grow up. My philosophy has been, the bad things you go through make you tougher, but it also makes you appreciate the good things you got in life too. We all got to face adversity. You don't want to see anybody. Sometimes you just have to do it, and it's not an easy thing, to do that kind of stuff. But it's necessary. And if you really do care about somebody, I've always had the philosophy, I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, because I think in the long term, that's something better than, blowing smoke up people's ass. It is. I know it's tough, man, but, sometimes you got to do stuff for their own good, for the kids and stuff. You always be there for them. You always help them out, that goes vice versa. But sometimes you got to do a tough thing because they need it, and it doesn't make you any less of a parent. I think you're just doing what's necessary for your kid. You're welcome. Hope that made you feel better, JBS. All right, we'll do 2 more questions here. We got Chris Paul's question: what burned red in August? I think my hair, and that's why I don't have it anymore. Epic, any thoughts on that? Because I am ginger, but I don't think you are, so I can only say that.
No, I'm not. I got a rash, I guess.
Okay, well, there you go. Talk about burning red. I hope it's in a not a bad area. We'll leave it at that. Oh, God. Chris, yeah, we did that one. Nathaniel Morgan question. On a lighter note, what order do GOs go in?
Okay.
What order do they go in? Like, what do you mean? Like their turn order? Or
Esther to get, yeah. I guess we can do both. Kenobi is number 1, hands down. He's not the first one, I would
Kenobi.
probably.
Kenobi. What are you talking about? We're talking about Geos.
Oh, Geos. Sorry, I
Yeah,
thought you
yeah,
said
yeah, yeah.
Geos.
Yeah, Geos go in. I assume this is turn order. I mean, GB is always going to be your
Turn. Okay.
What order do Geos go in? I mean, oh, the lineup. Oh, okay. So I always go GBA, Spy, Sunfac, and then Geo Soldier, Poggle. You could flip too, depending on what you're trying to use them as. I've seen people put Sunfac in the second spot, Geo in the third, and then Poggle and stuff. I've seen it done a few different ways. I mean, I don't have the exact answer. I usually just go with Sunfac or Spy in the second slot, depending on what I'm trying to do, and then down the line that way. Alpha, Poggle, Soldier, Spy, and Sunfac. Well, there you go. So you can see in the chat, everybody's got different opinions on it. So some people like Poggle in that slot because of the ability block and stuff. So there you go. Darsign, I'll do this question, then we're going to get out of here. It says, we all know Datacrons aren't good, aren't going anywhere. So with the massive guild
I need to look up the kits. You need Soldier before Poggle because Soldier does tenacity down. So it's always going to be Soldier before Poggle.
Okay.
So you can hit the ability block, like, without RNG. It should be 100%.
Yeah, that's what Chris Paul just said. Yeah, I knew there was a reason why I had it that way. I always had GBA, Spy, Sunfac, Soldier, Poggle, right? My God, it's like we're playing tic-tac-toe. Jesus Christ. X takes the square. God. Yeah, Spy, Sunfac, Soldier, Poggle, right?
Yeah, that sounds good.
That sounds right. Okay, there we go.
The only difference you made, Sunfac has dispel buffs, so you may want him second. I mean, that one's less important. I mean, the most important is just having Poggle after Soldier.
Yeah,
you want that tenacity down for sure.
Sure.
Yep.
All right, next question. We did that one. Oh, we didn't do that one because, okay. Question. We all know Datacrons are going anywhere. So with the massive guild shakeups right now due to Datacron, what can CG do to encourage and help guilds stick together? Boy, oh boy.
I mean, slowing it down was a good thing, I think. I mean, if we get a bad one, it'll be a bad thing, but slowing it down will help that a little bit.
Yeah, with the releases and stuff, that helps a little bit. But the problem is still we have a gear crunch, and they need to address that. We also need more content for guilds. Again, one of the things I said is like we've got plenty of individual shit. We have conquests, we have GAC, we fleets, all that other stuff, right? Raids, even though they're guild. A little bit of an individual. We have TW really and TB. We need, if we're gonna get another TB, great. Something. We just need more stuff like that includes guild participation. And we need to speed up the way that new players can get to the end game faster. That's more gear, more resources. I mean, some of the good moves that CG's done is some of the gear changes have helped. Also, the expedited farming for characters has been great too. They need to do expedited ships. I still don't know why they don't have expedited ship farming. I mean, some of these ships are been out longer than some of the characters that have expedited farming. So
all the old ships should be in a store to help out if they're not.
Yeah, a lot of them are, but some are not. Rex is still a pain in the ass to get, and a lot of the other ships that even are new
because it's not anywhere. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like that. Yeah, that should be fixed for sure. Yeah, I mean, why they're not why they're still the way they are. I mean, that's one that's lost with ship loadouts. Maybe it'll change if we ever get ship loadouts.
I mean, if you're gonna put out all this stuff, I mean, either one, you find a way to be more inclusive to lower end guilds and mid tier guilds, to where they feel like they can progress at a reasonable rate and feel like they're being a part of stuff, even though they can't get to a lot of the in-game characters and stuff right away. You have to look at that balance. But I mean, if you expedite how players get to the end game faster. And I'm not talking like in a week they can be 9 million GP, but just so that they feel like they can progress at a faster rate, that they can feel like they're getting closer to that end game, with gear and relics and things of that nature, and then more stuff for guilds to do. I think that's a thing that two things that will encourage this game more than anything. So I mean, that kind of stuff, yeah. Oh, I agree. If there's some more tools for TW officers, God bless the officers in any guild. God bless them.
I think going back to Omicrons too, what they should think of is like not having so many different things on each one.
I'm okay with Omicrons are not the problem for me. Datacrons are, because Omicrons.
Sorry.
Yeah,
that's what I meant.
That's what you meant. Yeah, Datacrons, because it is
because there's so many possibilities. That's the biggest problem with it. They need to cut like the stuff you can get in half on those suckers, because it's just there's too many things. I know they love the RNG because it makes them money, but like top end people are going to do that anyway. So like, I don't know, because the biggest thing is there's no uniformity in it, right? Like not even those tier 3, 6, 9 things. Everybody has such a mishmash of them, but that's the real problem. So if they could cut down on some of those, that would help too. It'll help at least that they're a longer period. But like, I don't know. It seems like there's 20 possibilities on each of those tiers, which is ridiculous. They should cut that down to, I don't know, 8 maybe, so that guilds have a chance if they want, uniformity, to set a wall that people who do the stuff can get it, so that there's not all this. That's a problem. I mean, I don't see how any guild can say anything. Okay, put this Omicron on it. I mean,
well, some guilds are like that, but that's what you kind of
maybe
you get into that position. So you have to just understand where certain guilds are pretty, they're very casual, and if that's your play style, you have to understand the play style you're going for, and then take it from there. So yeah. All right, last question, then we're gonna get out of here. What else? Three says question: wouldn't it be great if guild members just built teams in a team loadout screen, and then the guild officers could place them where they needed to be placed? That would be kind of fun. Yeah, and that would work for me. I'd be okay. I'd be okay with that. Shit.
And you might as well just give the officers your codes and let them log into your account.
No, don't do that. That breaks tail. You're gonna get us in trouble.
Put it in there. I know, but that's basically what that is. I mean, at that point, I mean, if you're at a guild that you need that the guild officer might as well just go through the person's account once, and tell them this is the lineup, this is the datacron, this is what you'll place, and then just give the person, okay, get this up to you might as well just go with the person through their account and give them a plan at that point. I don't know if you need a tool for that. I mean, any guild that would need that is they're going to have hot utils or something. I mean, the officer can pull up the person's account and basically, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can do that stuff outside. It would only be if the datacron stuff is there, they would just have to ask, okay, what datacrons do you have? Okay, stick it on. This is the one we want you to stick it on. But I don't know. I don't think a lot of guilds are doing it. That's only the top, whatever %. I mean, we don't even say what our platoon areas are anymore. I mean, you just kind of follow the person who's doing it. Just stick the first squad in there, and then everybody else pretty much sticks the same squad. I mean, that's what we do. And then if they're all relic 3+, people will just put a random datacron on it. I mean, I think that's how most of them do it now. You know.
All right.
Yep.
All right. So we are going to call it a day. So thanks for joining us for the Jedi Academy. Appreciate you guys being here. Everybody in the U.S., happy Labor Day. Happy
Heck
days
yeah.
are here again.
3-day weekend.
Yes, 3-day weekend for all you hardworking folks out there. So enjoy your weekend. I'll be back tomorrow for some GAC tomorrow night. Me and Clayton will come hang out with you guys, and then and then we'll be probably I'll maybe stream on Monday, just for a little bit, but not very long, because I want to enjoy the day as well. So do me a favor. You can Mike's got his own channel. I think he talked about it. Where can folks check you out at Epic Fails?
Yeah, it is Epic Fails YouTube. I haven't done a lot yet. My personal life got a little in the way, but I'm looking to get back into it. So hopefully soon, get some better equipment.
Yeah, there you go.
Unfortunately, my laptop didn't like OBS and other stuff, so I'm looking to upgrade that stuff and
Happy
do some
days
better
are
things.
here again. All right, so enjoy the rest of your weekend. Check out Epic stuff. Thank you guys for hanging out. Be safe. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe here, check all that crap, and we will holler at you guys later. Happy Labor Day.